the thing that these zipper tabs help us to do is help us not to catch the end of the zipper in when we sew up the sides. And so the technique that we use is we don't sew all the way across the zipper. And it looks like, well, there's going to be a hole there. And yes, there is. But that hole is covered up by the edge of the wallet when you sew up or rivet the sides, so you don't really have to worry about that. And what this does is all this bulk of the zipper now does not have to be included in the seam. It's just kind of hanging loose is what it's doing. And it just makes everything so much neater when you do this way. You won't ever want to do it another way. It's just very good. So we sew from the end, this is our lining, the end up to about a 1/2 inch from the zipper, and then just stop and then hop over the zipper and then start about a 1/2 inch from the zipper on this side and sew down to about a 1/2 inch from the zipper on this end, and then hop across and then do it again. And then those openings are where you're going to pull that zipper tab out, and it's going to really make your zipper end really nice and flat. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. Alright, now I'm getting ready to sew up my side seams. Okay, so I'm going to start down here. This is the lining for that pocket that was with the taupe zipper. And I'm just going to use I'm going to use a little bit less than a 1/4 inch. Or a little bit bigger, I should say. I'm going to use a 3/8 inch seam, especially for this lining. Somehow it seems like it gets kind of full underneath inside that pocket. And so I sewed up to a 1/2 inch from where my zipper was, and then I stopped. And now I'm going to pull this nice and flat, and I'm going to jump over. And for some reason, my foot doesn't like to get real close to the zipper on this side, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing on this side that I just did over there. And I'm going to sew up to within a 1/2 inch of my zipper on this side. And I'm going to stop. I'm back stitching a little bit because this is making a hole, and where I made that hole, it gets a little bit of strain. And so I'm going to jump across, and I'm going to do the same thing with this lining. This is the lining of the part that had the red zipper. Move over just a little bit. And there we go. Okay, and you leave the bottoms open, because when you sew the pouch to the actual wallet, this all gets caught in that little seam, and so it's secure. You don't really have to sew another seam. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to match these down here, and I'm going to sew up to 1/2 inch from where my zipper went across. Stop and jump across. Try to get all this out of the way, so there's nothing going to get caught in there that's not supposed to be caught. If you get these zipper tabs caught in this seam, and then they don't work as well, so just kind of be careful that you don't catch them. There I go to my 1/2 inch, and then now I'm going to do my last little part here. Now it's a tube. Okay, I find that if at this point in time I can work my iron in here, sometimes you have to use a little narrow sleeve board, or I have some little round ironing hams, but it's really nice if you can open these seams up a little bit, and then when you turn it, it won't be so bulky. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, I ironed my seams a little bit flat, and this is going to help me when I turn this to have these linings lay inside of the zipper pocket a little bit better. So I'm going to turn the whole thing. Remember, I opened up those zippers, so now I have just a tube. If you don't open up your zippers, then you have a problem, so be careful with that. All right, so now here's the hole where the zipper tab is going to come through. Okay, so I'm kind of working that out with my finger, and I've got the tab like that. And now, once I tuck this in, I've got the top of my zipper. It's very neat. And this is what I'm going to see. This part here is going to be trimmed off and then sewed in, and that's what I'm going to see. So you just need to be careful that you don't sew up too high and catch the fabric of the zipper tabs when you're sewing your side seams. Otherwise, you're going to have to just snip a few threads to kind of release it. Otherwise, or you couldn't pull it out. So here's one side. It's going to be inside like that. My zipper tab looks pretty good. Okay, now I need to do the other side. Tuck them in. Pull those out. Just gonna work it a little bit. I have this great tool. It actually came from a veterinary supply store. Let me show it to you. It works great when you have problems like I'm having right now, in that I can't get my last one out. It's called a hemostat. And if you fish, you probably have one of these that you take the hooks out. Or if you have, you know, medical supplies, then you so it looks like a scissors, but it doesn't have any sharp edges. It just has grippers. And it'll lock too, so that if you're really pulling on something difficult, it comes out really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to smooth down my linings in here. What I usually like to do is smooth down one and then smooth down the other and lay it inside of the one that I first did. And then down at the bottom you don't have bunching. And actually I found this is not as critical as you might think it is to get it smooth. Just kind of just do the best you can. I know I've made like little tucks in the bottom of mine sometimes, but I don't really think that it matters. So the zipper pouch basically is finished now, and you see, well, I'm going to zip it up, and I'm going to put it in like this, and then this security tab is going to go over and catch on that Velcro, and that's what it looks like before you put it into your wallet. And your seam where you seamed the two pieces together is down here at the bottom, which is going to go into the bottom of your wallet. Remember that you measure half way between here and here, which we know is 3.5 inches, so you could mark that 3.5 inches, and then you're going to sew on either side of that a little rectangle that's going to sew this down to the bottom of your wallet, and then it's ready to be sewed, the sides to be sewed. So that's basically how you make your double zipper pocket with this opening down at the bottom here, and works out pretty well. I'll show you my wallet when I get it all sewed in, and you can see the finished product. All finished. Open it up. There it is, security tab. Put your cell phone in there. Pockets for your money. I always put my money in the front one and put it in the back. And I'm going to make a wristlet strap for this one. because that's what the customer's asking for. So it's not that hard. Good luck. Don't fear the zipper. My advice.